The problem of many IELTS test takers is that they don't get the score they need in one particular section. In the past, if you wanted to improve your score in one section only, you had to take the entire IELTS test again. This is stressful and costs a lot of time. But now the IELTS has a solution for this. There is a new version which is called IELTS One Skill Retake. This increases your chances of getting the band score you need considerably. In this video, we are going to have a look at this new test, what it means, how it affects your score, what it costs, and much more. By the way, guys, if you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers, and we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link to the materials in the description box. And now let's get started. Let's answer the first question. What is the IELTS One Skill Retake? It's a new feature that lets you take a whole section of the IELTS one more time. So if you don't get the band score you need, then you can take this section again. You can select any section, reading, writing, listening, or speaking, but you are only allowed to retake one. The section that you can retake is exactly the same as in the normal IELTS test. You do the entire section, not a part of the section. Unfortunately, not everyone can do the IELTS One Skill Retake. You can only do it if you have taken the IELTS Academic or IELTS General, and only if you have taken the computer-based version of the IELTS. So it's not available for the paper-based test. But even then, you have to check whether you can take it, because it isn't available in every country yet. Therefore, you need to make sure whether your test center has the feature. Additionally, there's a time limit. You can do the One Skill Retake at the same test center within 60 days of your first test. So you should decide promptly and schedule your retake before time runs out. There is also a limit on how often you can do the One Skill Retake. You can only do it once, and you can only retake one section. So if you decide to retake IELTS Writing, and after that you are not happy with that score, then you can't retake the writing test. Or if you also want to retake IELTS Reading after that, you can't do that. Now comes an important question. How are the scores calculated? The answer is just like for the regular IELTS test. There is no penalty for the One Skill Retake. You will get a new test score report, and the skill you retake will be updated with your new results. But the other scores will be the same. Another important question is, when do you get results? You will get them within 3 to 5 days of retaking the IELTS. Remember that some institutions have strict deadlines for applications. Keep that in mind when planning the dates for taking the IELTS. Make sure you have enough time for the first IELTS test and for the One Skill Retake. By the way, guys, if this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button. Also, comment down below what questions you have about the IELTS, so I know what you're interested in. Now, let's have a look at two crucial questions regarding the new version: the scoring and the cost. What happens if your new score is lower than the one of your first test? Guys, this is great news. After you get the One Skill Retake updated report, you can decide whether you use the original IELTS test or the retake test. It's up to you which one you use, so you don't have to worry about getting a lower score. Finally, let's have a look at the cost. The IELTS One Skill Retake is not free. You have to pay for it. Each test center has its own price, so you have to ask the test center to find out how much it will cost. The cost is not cheap. It varies, but depending on the country, it might be between 120 and 200 US dollars. So, do I recommend the IELTS One Skill Retake? It depends. If you only need a few points more in one section, I think it's worth taking it, because you will likely be able to improve in a short time and you don't need to retake the whole test. This is great because retaking the whole thing is stressful and costs you a lot of time. However, if there is a big gap between the band score you have and the score you need, it may not be worth it. You only have 60 days to retake the section, and you likely won't manage to improve your score that much during this time. So when you get your results and you're not happy, think about whether you feel that you can improve as much as is necessary in a short time, or whether it may be better studying for a while and then taking the whole IELTS again. That's it. That's all you need to know about the IELTS One Skill Retake. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video.